Come now, speak your mind.
I've spent around 20 hours playing Destiny 2, covering the majority of the story missions, dozens of side activities, a strike, and a handful of rounds in the Crucible. I still have a lot more to go, and I'll be documenting my progress over the next few days as I play more. So far, Destiny 2 builds on the original in smart ways that make me excited to keep playing.
Okay, there are a lot more Cabal than I was expecting.
Well, they may not like you trespassing in their secret magic fort.
My first impression of Destiny 2 was that it was barely distinguishable from the first game. The things I loved about Destiny, the exhilaration of nailing a precision kill, the satisfaction of shooting each weapon, felt the same, as did the repetitive feeling I didn't like as much. But the more I played, the more I noticed that some of Destiny's other problems have been fixed. I haven't finished the main story yet, but so far it's a clear improvement from Destiny's much-maligned storytelling.
I've heard quite a few new voices over the comms lately. Hawthorne says we have you to thank for that. It's a good thing too. While you were gallivanting about the system, matters got a bit sticky here in the Dead Zone. If you've got a moment, we have plenty of things that need doing.
Like the beta, Destiny 2 begins with an attack on the tower by a Cabal faction called the Red Legion. Rather than being thrust into situations with little to no context, as was so often the case in Destiny, each mission of the Red War arc has objectives that make sense both in the mission itself and within the grand scheme. Locating a missing Cade 6, for example, is important to the fight against the Red Legion since he's a powerful hunter. But fighting waves of Vex to get to him also makes sense as he's trapped in a Vex teleporter, and that small bit of context makes killing the same enemies in that moment feel distinct. Your Ghost also does a better job of introducing you to enemies like the Fallen and Vex, provided you didn't port your character over from Destiny, in which case the dialogue is supposed to be different, though we haven't tested it yet.
As for you, Guardian, well done. If that brute had gotten loose with the Scions, there may have been no stopping it.
And then I couldn't have collected on that bat. Big and taken. Told you.
Destiny has some fascinating and complicated lore, and giving you the foundation necessary to understand it works in Destiny 2's favor. That goes well in tandem with Destiny 2's new and improved patrol zones. There are 4 new destinations: Earth's European Dead Zone, Nessus, Titan, and Io. When you touch down, you have a lot more options for what to do, and it's surprising how far that goes toward breaking up the repetition. You can do a regular, quick and dirty patrol, or you can embark on a longer adventure mission, completing a series of objectives for better rewards. There are also the new Lost Sectors, which are essentially dungeons and forego structured objectives for bosses and loot chests. Both Adventures and Lost Sectors take you to far-flung areas of the map and often include a healthy bit of backstory. Because of that, it feels like you're doing something of substance rather than a series of menial tasks. One adventure had me setting up comms for refugees at the last city, which then led me to fighting off a horde of Fallen that were jamming the signals. It felt more important than just killing a Fallen leader in some random area of the map with no purpose other than to get XP and a bit of loot.
We did it. They're gone.
You Guardians really are something else. I guess I kind of forgot that.
And now we know that there are resources to be found in the EDZ. Once we retake the city, that'll be a big help.
Sure.
What Soraya means to say is, thank you.
My favorite change, though, is a small one that greatly impacted how I play. The old weapon categories, primary, special, and heavy, have been replaced by kinetic, energy, and power. Weapons are sorted a bit differently, and formerly primary weapons can show up in both your kinetic and energy slots. Kinetics have no special attributes, while energy weapons can take on the arc, solar, or void energies and are better for taking down enemies' shields. For me, this meant switching my weapon more based on the situation and using weapons I never used in Destiny 1. I already loved the feedback loop of Destiny's shooting and spongy enemies, and that small bit of variety made me love it even more. Of course, all of this still feels like Destiny. The new social space, the farm, is functionally the same as the tower in the original. Finding loot and switching out your old gear still takes up a significant portion of your time. Enemies have been tweaked, but they're not wildly different either. That's not necessarily bad, but it also makes me wonder if I'll see Destiny 2 as a sequel rather than a half step up the longer I play and the more I grind and repeat. Because my time with the game began prior to launch at a Bungie event, I'm starting fresh at launch like everyone else. After I've caught up to my previous progress, I can finally look forward to finishing the campaign and seeing how the story works out. Of course, I also need to spend a significant amount of time with Strikes, the Crucible, and eventually the Raid. In short, there's a lot of Destiny 2 left to play before I can deliver my final review. Until then, check GameSpot every day for a brief look at my progress and thoughts on Destiny 2 as I go.
Picking up a big spike in Fallen chatter. They sound pretty pissed.
I think we can handle whatever they throw at us.
They've deployed a walker to your position.
Huh.